Hello, everyone, and welcome to Maggie's Possum Journey. Well, this is a scene of absolute madness of two cuties in a room. But you must be wondering, why have I started today's story from nowhere? Well, I just had to start off with an introduction of this video. Maggie, as you know, it's always her story. But in this vlog, you're also going to see Maggie's new friend Coco in this entire story. Coco is also a very energetic golden retriever, and I'll tell you more in the coming pages of the story as to how the two of them react when they are with each other. But before that, let me start as to why we could not take you to many of Maggie's stories in the last few days. If you remember, Maggie had an injury and it took her almost 2 months to completely recover. But the minute she did, we were first of all in plan making and chalking out an itinerary as to where we could take out Maggie for this vacation. She owed one, you know. Well, luckily, Maggie's friend Coco was also available during those dates, and we thought, why not? Maggie must learn how to socialize. She's not very good at that, you know. So we packed our bags. It was beautiful monsoon season and off we were on the road. It was a long time, and this time I decided, let me start by sitting behind with Maggie as she's most comfortable with that. Well, Maggie and Coco look so alike that sometimes you might think which is who. But let me tell you a little identification. Maggie is a little shorter than Coco, and Coco is the taller one, although he is younger to Maggie and just 1.5 years old. Maggie is almost going to be 4.5 at this video, and they are still trying to patch up. Let me give you a very honest opinion. Coco is the much more friendlier and social one, whereas Maggie is being dominating one here. Well, do you remember Maggie's friend Penny? She's older to Maggie and always is the more dominating one on Maggie. But on this case, Maggie is the one dominating Coco and barks at him all the time. The poor little baby tries to befriend Maggie all the time, as you can see here. Oh, poor baby. And Maggie is like, get off me. But poor little Coco, still so innocent, tries to befriend Maggie every little time. Maggie, you must learn how to be friends with little Coco. After all, we're neighbors, right? And the more friendly you are, the more trips we can have. Well, jokes apart, we just took a little coconut break on the way. And here, Maggie sat and she barked so loud that she actually shooed away all the strays that were there in the same area. Maggie, you're becoming quite a bully, I must say. But then, when everybody was away and she was with Papa, she happily sat like a queen and she was just admiring the marvel and the nature and off-roads. Of course, that's what she loves the most. But look at her, what a snob she has become with time. She used to love having coconut water, you know. But this time when we gave her, well, she was least bothered and didn't want to have any of it. You spoiled girl. Anyway, we didn't lose a single opportunity of clicking some photographs, and then we were on our way and almost about to reach our destination. Now, where are we this time? We decided to head to Coorg. Coorg is located in the southwest Indian state of Karnataka, nested with the Western Ghats. So you can imagine what beautiful roads we must have got. It is often called the Scotland of India due to its beautiful hills, mist-covered landscape and natural beauty. It is also known as the Madikeri area, and Madikeri Fort, Raja Seat, Abbey Falls, and also on the way there's this beautiful monastery that covers Coorg. For us, the attraction was the monsoon season. We had beautiful monsoon in Karnataka this year, and Coorg is a marvel of the monsoon season. If you love the rains, you must hit Coorg at this season. This was our resort that we loved so much. For us, it is so important to have a pet-friendly place, but when we get one, we are just so happy. When we reached once after a long drive of 6 hours and we took short breaks here and there, Maggie finally settled herself And we had one cottage where there were two rooms. We had settled in one with an attached bathroom with Maggie, and the other room had Coco and her companions of friends there, and they settled in the other room. So we were in the same cottage but two separate rooms, so the two of them could just talk to each other through the door. Well, Madam Not So Social needs to socialite. Well, finally she did. Once she settled down, this time Coco was also a little calmer and both of them were tired. Of course, they had to be. They had spent so much of energy jumping on the road. Look at him, all straight and tired. And this time Maggie let him lie down next to her. Well, as if you were doing a favor to him, Maggie. But anyway, the two of them sat quietly as we had sat planning for the next day as to what we wanted to go and where we wanted to see, because we were already very tired that day after a long drive and it was pouring cats and dogs. So we decided to enjoy the nature, enjoy our little place, our little cottage and the surroundings. And next day we decided we'll have a good night's sleep and with lots of energy we'll start the next day. So meanwhile we carried a lot of games with us, indoor games. We ordered food from outside. We fed the two of them according to their own meals, whatever they had, and they let each other be in each other's company. Maggie, once she said good night to Coco, she was back to her room, and this time lazy Maggie was so tired she couldn't even utter a word. I kept telling her, Maggie, would you like to go with us tomorrow? Well, generally what happens is when we go out for long trips, the entire road trip or the drive makes her so tired that the next day she loves to rest at the resort room. Some people might wonder, how is that possible? Trust me, Maggie sleeps for straight 8-9 hours, and that makes her fit for the coming day. So this is what we decided as well, that even today let her sleep, and the next day also we would take her out exploring the places in the neighborhood. But for the main travel, we'll let her be in the resort. She'll sleep. Coco and Maggie would rest in the resort and they would get more energy for the next day. Well, for the next vlog, I'll tell you what happened the next day at Coorg, but what all we saw and the monsoons and Maggie and her notorious things. But for now, do give our video a lot of love, subscribe to the channel, and hugs from Maggie. Bye-bye.